To quote The Rock, "Finally! It finally happened. Someone finally called Kathleen Kennedy, J.J. Abrams, and Disney Star Wars on their bullshit, and it is glorious."
The following is a world-class Bullshitters exclusive.
Since 2015, Star Wars has been broken. When The Force Awakens was released, there was a great disturbance in the Force. I hate myself for that, I'm sorry. Almost as much as I hate that film, but it isn't my hatred that's the story. No, my displeasure is well documented here on this channel. It's someone else's hatred that's much more interesting. There's a list of names instrumental for the success of Star Wars. On the top of that list, of course, is George Lucas. After that, in no particular order, there's Gary Kurtz, Ralph McQuarrie, John Williams, Joe Johnston, John Dykstra, Dennis Muren, and a whole hell of a lot more. One name not mentioned nearly enough, or barely at all, is Marsha Lucas. It's a well-documented fact that Star Wars was saved in the edit. There are documentaries about it. I even spoke with Richard Chu, one of the editors on the film, about it. There was a lot of it going on. Editing is what made Star Wars Star Wars. One of the now unsung editors on the project was George's ex-wife, Marcia. Her contributions to the film are endless, but one of her biggest contributions to Star Wars was editing the Battle of Yavin, aka the climax of the film. She's Star Wars royalty. We just never hear much from her these days. But that's changed, and Marcia's got some very, very interesting things to say. An excerpt from the book Howard Kazanjian, A Producer's Life, has a very telling segment on Disney Star Wars from Star Wars' very own Marsha Lucas. Let's hear what she had to say. But before we do, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and make sure you're subscribed to this channel for more world-class Bullshitters content. "I like Kathleen. I always liked her," says Marsha Lucas. "She was full of beans. She was really smart and really bright. She was a wonderful woman, and I liked her husband Frank. I liked them a lot. Now that she's running Lucasfilm and making movies, it seems to me that Kathy Kennedy and J.J. Abrams don't have a clue about Star Wars. They don't get it, and J.J. Abrams is writing these stories. They killed Han Solo. Absolutely, positively, there was no rhyme or reason to it. I thought, you don't get the Jedi story. You don't get the magic of Star Wars. You're getting rid of Han Solo? And at the end of the last one, The Last Jedi, they have Luke disintegrate? They killed Han Solo, they killed Luke Skywalker, and now they don't have Princess Leia anymore. And they're spitting out movies every year. And they think it's important to appeal to a woman's audience, so now their main character is this female who's supposed to have Jedi powers, but we don't know how she got Jedi powers or who she is. It sucks. The storylines are terrible. Just terrible. Awful. You can quote me. J.J. Abrams, Kathy Kennedy, talk to me." God damn, does that feel good to hear. What did you think when you heard this? Tell me in the comments below. Finally, the people who made the original Star Wars are coming out to dunk on the new ones for what they were. I wonder who's going to say something next. It feels so good for me to reread my favorite part about the woman's audience. What are the SJW weirdos going to say about Marsha Lucas? She's a misogynist? That accusation isn't going to work here. It's also trash, just like these movies, because she was a woman working in the field and winning awards when half of these losers online weren't even thought about because their grandparents were in grade school when Star Wars came out. We've all called it for years. Making Star Wars appeal to more women was stupid. Star Wars already appealed to more people than anything else in history, yet they changed it for no discernible reason. It was forced agenda-driven marketing, complete with fan-bashing and hatred never seen publicly displayed before. All of those unsold toys, cringy opinion pieces, and lack of cultural footprint tells us just how much or little Kathleen Kennedy and crew knew about Star Wars. I love that it's someone just directly calling her out. It's refreshing after years of Yas Queen. Look, KK, you ruined Star Wars from the get-go, and it took an army of apologists to trick the public into thinking your films had a plan. They clearly did not. We knew it from the beginning, and the end results show it, and Marsha Lucas backs that as well. I love that a book full of insider stuff on Lucasfilm projects takes the time to shit on the sequel trilogy. Thank you, fuck you, bye. They really are the worst things to happen culturally since Anthrax. The stuff, not the band. They rock. Now back to Marsha Lucas. I feel her anger over Han Solo's death. That's why I made Stealing Solo. It was my response to the tragedy that was The Force Awakens. I appreciate that Marsha Lucas understands the importance of the Star Wars characters, even though Disney, the rights holder, does not. They've treated the two most important popular heroes, Han and Luke, like jokes. We all show up to see them in theaters. After you systematically castrate them, less and less people turned out to see these films. Now we're at the point where these films are made fun of in print. It's official. The Disney Star Wars trilogy blows. I'll link you to some of our videos on the subject so I don't have to repeat myself, but it's dead, Jim. Stick a fork in it. Since Marsha Lucas clearly understands what makes the Disney films so bad, I thought we'd close out today's video with some of her greatest contributions to Star Wars as a final middle finger to the biggest cultural abortion since Chevy Chase got a show on Fox. the Disney Star Wars trilogy in Solo because it lost money. Fuck you, Alden Ehrenreich. 5 ways Marsha Lucas gave Star Wars its heart. Long before Kathleen Kennedy, Daisy Ridley, and the contemporary women of Star Wars, there was Marsha Lucas. Marsha was the significant woman behind one of pop culture's greatest franchises. One of the most prolific editors of the 1970s, Marsha Lucas was nominated for an Academy Award for her work on Taxi Driver and won an Oscar for the work she did on Star Wars. George Lucas's process for writing Star Wars was sending around draft after draft of edited version to get people's notes and then massage the script with that feedback in mind. But it's now commonly held knowledge that Marcia was the most influential voice in George and those conversations, as she suggested many of the human moments of the saga. Among those moments were the famous kiss for luck. Also included, the death of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Originally, Obi-Wan was supposed to survive the duel with Darth Vader and run off with Luke, Leia, and Han, but it was Marsha Lucas who insisted to kill off Obi-Wan as a pivotal moment, realizing that he doesn't really contribute much to the proceeding after that, and just stands around, but his death in the final film stands as one of sci-fi cinema's most iconic moments. The trench run. This is possibly the single greatest editing contribution Marsha Lucas made to Star Wars. Although the film has 2 other credited editors, Marsha Lucas focused on editing the final trench run of the Death Star scene. Many say she saved the entire final act by adding the sense of urgency. In the book, The Secret History of Star Wars, author Michael Kaminsky says, the Death Star trench run was originally scripted entirely different, with Luke having 2 runs at the exhaust port. Marsha had reordered the shots almost from the ground up, trying to build tension lacking in the original script. Marsha Lucas almost never talked about Star Wars publicly for several decades after her divorce from George Lucas. But in 2017, she gave a rare on-camera interview on the making of Star Wars, where she mentioned her work on the trench run scene. If the audience doesn't react when Han Solo flies the Millennium Falcon, this movie's not going to work. And she wasn't wrong. It's now considered one of the greatest action sequences in film history, and the template for so many scenes for the next 40 years. I'd just like to stop right there and say it's my favorite scene in all of cinema, so thank you, Marsha Lucas. And finally, Return of the Jedi. Marsha Lucas isn't credited for Empire Strikes Back, though there are various unconfirmed reports that she did help. However, even though they were in the midst of getting a divorce, Marsha did help edit Return of the Jedi, and once again, the scenes that she helped edit gave the film its emotional core. According to The Secret History of Star Wars, she edited both the deaths of Yoda and Anakin Skywalker. These emotional farewells are part of the heart of Luke's journey of the film, and her last significant contribution to the original trilogy. Along with Gary Kurtz, there were a few other people next to George Lucas that really helped make Star Wars. And none of those people like what Disney gave us because it isn't Star Wars anymore. I find it fascinating that most people, besides Harrison Ford that worked on Star Wars, hold it in such special high regard. They understood what they made, they understand the importance, and it's nice that they still respect it. Marsha Lucas, thank you. This is so refreshing. And I hope everyone out there takes the time today to remind Lucasfilm, Star Wars, Kathleen Kennedy, Disney, go tell them what you think of the Star Wars sequel trilogy. Do you like it? Do you hate it? I don't care. Tell them and tell me down in the comments below. I'll give you my opinions. If there's a quality movie at the center of the universe, they're on the planet that is farthest from. So folks, thank you for watching. Let me know exactly what you think about Marsha Lucas, and make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel. Hit that thumbs up and tell us you like it, and hit the bell notification for more. YouTube's been doing these crazy purges as of late. Thousands and thousands of people are being unsubscribed, so it stinks, but you gotta take an extra step to make sure you're subscribed to this channel. But we are worth it. We are the epitome of pop culture, and you'll thank yourselves at the end of the day. So folks, I'm gonna get out of here. I'd like to thank you for watching. Be smart, be safe, be cool, but always be excellent to each other.